let's talk Clippers. Will the Clippers finish the season healthy? I
Well,
told you
they
this
already not
months.
healthy, so
I
who's you
told
gonna
you
call?
this months ago. Months ago, I told you this. I'm like, yeah, look good now when they won like what 11 in a row, something like that. I
Yeah,
said
12.
this shit. I said, yeah, this shit cute, but are they gonna be able to do this shit in fucking April? And I love the Clippers. I like Ty Lue. He is a great coach, but you can't coach through injuries. Injuries are what injuries are. You
I don't.
cannot make Kawhi Leonard be healthy. And I love Kawhi. Kawhi is actually, in terms of like the NBA players that I've been around, in terms of just like being around them, whether they're on the floor, in the presser, or around people, like I would say in terms of the top 5 that I've been around personally, I would say number 1 for me is probably Dame. And I would say
That's
Dame
cool.
because Dame gave you our first big interview that we had on the channel.
No, D Rose technically, then it was Dame.
D Rose, yeah, but that was D Rose when D Rose wasn't D Rose. Dame was like at his peak at that point. To me, Dame is not at his peak anymore. No disrespect to Dame. But to me, number 1 would be Dame. Number 2, I would say D Rose just because he did give you that interview and we from Chicago. Number 3, I would say personally would probably be for me Kawhi. Actually, I really like being around Kawhi. Like Kawhi is a funny guy. He's also not the type of like guy because some of these guys will like walk past you and expect you to just move. Like he's the type of person that will say like "excuse me" or stuff like that. Like he's a nice guy and he's actually very funny. Like people don't realize this because he doesn't talk that much, but Kawhi is funny as hell. He just like a regular LA dude. He funny as fuck. I would say Kawhi number 3. I would actually put LeBron 4 because I've been around LeBron at the goddamn amusement park, and he was just being nice to people, chilling. And I saw that. I'm like, damn, LeBron seemed like a nice person to be around. And then I was at the presser the other day when the Lakers played the Clippers, and LeBron, not even just like the aura of like, oh, he walked in like, oh, that's LeBron. It's like, nah, he walked in, but like LeBron, you could tell that he is seasoned at like reading the room, and when he walks in, he's gonna make eye contact with people. He's gonna acknowledge the people that he knows and that he sees, and then you're gonna wait for him to sit and be ready and get started. Versus in other presses, sometimes the moment somebody sit down, people just start firing off questions. With LeBron, people, they literally waited, and then they were like, all right, and he went around the room and did his usual LeBron thing. But the aura that was in the room and the way he treated people, I thought that was kind of fire. And then for number 5 for me, I'm gonna actually say Giannis, because even after the game, Giannis was taking selfies with reporters. Like he like he saw Darius' dad after the presser, walked up to him, thanked him for the question, hugged him, grabbed him on the shoulder, and then they took a selfie. I'm like, what the fuck, G? Like, but also Darius' dad is like the
Hilarious.
goddamn like retired James Bond, G. Everybody fuck with him. Even Doc gave him a shout out in the presser, like, yo, shout out to you. How you been, man? He literally was like, how you been? You good? I'm glad you good. So like to me, those are the people, the guys that are like really approachable. And so I like Kawhi, but if we want to be honest and get down to brass tacks, they're not going to finish healthy. I honestly don't think PG gonna finish the season healthy. I don't think Harden gonna finish the season healthy. And then what you do is you 17 games left. I think you limp into the playoffs. You have no rust. And then what we're gonna see is what we saw when we had Reggie Jackson and Paul George out there against Chris Paul and Devin Booker to go to the finals. We're gonna see Bones Highland, Paul George, a little bit of Kawhi, and Zubac out there. And we're gonna be mad as fuck. So I just can't trust their health. And
Health.
no matter how good they look, I can't trust their health. And also, teams are picking on them. And people don't realize it because they've been much better. But I'm noticing it in person. They choose, like, if it's not Kawhi Leonard on the floor, even Dame Lillard said it. If it's not Kawhi on the floor, we basically are hunting for the best matchup. I think even Ant Edwards said that yesterday. Like if it wasn't Kawhi, like once Kawhi got hurt, I was like, all right, cool. Who guarded me? If it's not Kawhi guarding somebody, they're hunting for Harden. They even hunting down PG now. If Bones in the game, they hunt for him. They hunt for Norman Powell. They hunt for Zubac. They hunt for Tice. They hunt for Plumlee. Like I think when the game slows down, especially because Harden to me is just as quick as everyone else. And I think the thing that we didn't appreciate from Harden was how explosive he was. that first step is not as explosive as it was. So when it comes to the pick and roll or just normal dribble isolations, usually if he hit a move, he can get by you in the first step. He can't do that anymore. So that turns to a long jumper, or he's swinging it around the wing, and then they just give it back to him. And then he got to like throw up some bullshit or make some bullshit kind of passes. So I'm looking at them. If they're not going to be healthy, I just don't believe in them. I don't think they'll be all right, but go ahead.
I mean, I don't think health is the main issue. I think the way they play basketball is the main issue. Even last night, the thing, like even yesterday, they didn't lose the game because, okay, Kawhi go down. Who gives a fuck? You was up 20. Why are you losing a 20-point lead? But the issue is, I think more the issue is they can be guarded. They can be guarded, and like you mentioned, like fuck the health. They got a lot of old guys. Look at the ages. Like we was talking about this yesterday. Shout out to homies Chris and Sam. We talking about post game like who the most athletic player on the Clippers?
Brandon Boston Jr.
That plays basketball.
I mean, shit, he played on Saturday. He dunked the fuck out. I mean, on Sunday, he dunked. He literally dunked on Giannis, and I think it was Bobby. He yammed their ass.
He did.
I ain't gonna lie. He dunked so hard. Like, I ain't gonna lie. It'd be like a few people in the media booth that no matter who make a play, you hear them be like, oh, like making a reaction. G. When he dunked on Giannis, I think it was Bobby Portis. G. Damn near everybody in the media booth was like, oh, like we couldn't believe that.
Who's the most athletic player that's gonna actually play in the playoffs on their roster?
You want me to be honest, or you want me to lie to you?
I want you to be honest.
Russell Westbrook.
That's a problem. He's 35 years old.
Yeah, but he's still arguably to me a top 20 athlete in the NBA.
He's 35 years old. What I'm saying is
that's not my point. He's still arguably a top, like LeBron to me, still a top 20 athlete in the NBA.
Listen, the problem with that is he's 35 years old.
And then after that, I would say Paul George, and then I would actually, you know what? I would probably say Norm Powell. Actually,
the problem with all
he's a very sneaky athlete. Go ahead.
Who's also 30-something years old. The problem, what I'm saying is like you have a whole bunch of older guys out there. The issue yesterday was they couldn't stop Ant from getting anywhere he wanted to go on the court. They're going to probably have an issue guarding one-on-one with a lot of people. Even like when I saw PG try to get past Ant, and Ant just ripped the man up. I'm like, what? That shit shouldn't happen like that. If you lose the ball, whatever. But like they're going to have an issue with, as far as like they struggle with length. They're going to have an issue with being guarded. When the game slows down, it's like they don't run actual actions. They just get back to an ISO and just swinging the ball around. If you look at every game, especially late game execution, when they start turning the ball over. Then when you turn the ball over, it's like, again, they're not like a young athletic team. They don't get back on defense very well, which is why their transition defense sucks. And they've been saying this for, I don't know, they've been talking about the transition defense since the beginning of the season, damn near, for the most part. And then also, Ty, the most troubling thing he kept saying yesterday was mental toughness. Like, yeah,
I don't want to be like, what the fuck we talking about?
Like, no, that's troubling though. Like, they ain't got mental toughness. These motherfuckers.
No. I know it has nothing to do with that. Why are you the coach even acknowledging that they don't have the mental toughness? You shouldn't say that. Now I'll be honest. If Doc Rivers said that quote, they would have that on captions with a picture of him with his hands on his hip looking crazy on the sideline on Twitter right now. If Doc Rivers said about the Bucks post-game of loss, we need to focus on mental toughness, I guarantee you'd be memes about it. Ty Lue gets away with stuff like that. And I get it. He's used to playing with LeBron, so he's just jabbing and he's on his Phil Jackson thing. He also coached by Phil Jackson, coached by Larry Brown. He's been coached by some of the greatest coaches to ever play basketball. And I think part of that is a mental jab. Because I think what you can clearly acknowledge, and even what they acknowledged on Sunday with them playing 2 games within 22 hours,
which was insane, by the way,
which was insane, is that they are going through the dog days of their schedule, meaning like they have the most back-to-backs and all this other stuff out of all of these teams. And they're going to finish their schedule like in a very condensed kind of manner because they share the stadium with the Lakers. So I get it. They're tired. And his message isn't necessarily about us being mentally tough enough to finish the games with like playing basketball. I think it's about fighting through being tired. The one thing I will say that I really like about the Milwaukee Bucks, and that maybe I cannot see because they go into a separate compartment for the Clippers, is when the post game when the Bucks beat the Clippers, it was like 6 guys working out. I think it was Pat Bev, Jay Crowder, Thanasis, all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I said I can't personally attest. I'm not criticizing. But I believe I saw Norm Powell go work out. But this is my point. I don't think that they have the stamina because of the injuries and them being in and out. Even like a guy like Norm Powell, he got his head split open, miss a game. Like, it's just little things that have been affecting them all game long. I think that when they get tired, they start playing stupid. And that's what he's talking about when he's saying we got to be mentally tough. We got to be mentally tougher to when we're tired, we don't play stupid. We continue to play basketball the way we know we need to play versus saying we need to be mentally tougher because they just playing dumb basketball. I just think they get tired sometimes. Like, I can see it. I'm standing up. I'm in a press box or I'm like, oh, he tired. He need a blow. But that's the problem. When you talk about athletics, all of these guys in their prime, great athletes, they're at the end of their prime. We literally said it when Harden signed on that this is not Windows, like what is it? What did we say? Windows 2005 or whatever. Harden is exactly. He's an outdated system. Luka is the better version.
Debatable.
No, I didn't say greater. I said the better version. Luka is the better version, not the greater version, the better version. But if we being honest, he is. He came in, took exactly what Harden did and mastered it in like no time. And it's putting up. I didn't say greater. I said better. And statistically, you can't make an argument against him at this point in time. If he gets less than 32, 8 a game, his averages go down.
I mean,
all of them.
36, but
okay, he was averaging 36. But was he 25?
Nah, he was like some at this point. But
that's
listen,
my point.
But listen, yes, I'm with all that, but I think roster construction and the age of these guys is just as much of an issue as health. Like last night, I just don't think you should. I just don't think Kawhi getting back spasms is an excuse for you losing a 20-point lead. You still got Hall of Famers out there. You still got quality basketball players, and they missing one of their best players. You shouldn't lose a 20-point lead. I don't think that was why they lost the lead. They lost the lead because of mistakes, and then they have actual issues when somebody can guard them. They have actual issues dealing with somebody being able to actually guard them, and they have issues guarding other people because they still have mismatches on the court. And in the playoffs, you can't have these mismatches.
Yeah, no, I agree. But let's go ahead. Let's move on. Enough Clippers talk. And that's for you, Dan, because you say we don't talk about the Clippers.
They thought it was so. I'll be back. They thought it was so. But I said we back. They thought it was so. But I said we back. But I said we back. Going through my life, so look back on why I was feeling with it. But I'm back.